Greetings and good day. This is The Channeled Truth. I'm your host, Thomas Leichardt, and I'm a channeler myself, and I love exploring the works of Seth and Jane Roberts, Abraham-Hicks, and Bashar. And with me today, I have a very special guest that is returning. So we can say he's the returning champion. He's been here on 6 episodes so far. And he's channeled Raven, a Yahyel hybrid, on 3 of the episodes. That was episode 9, 13, and 14. And he's coming back to channel Raven one more time because she has a very important message to share with us, a message about nature. So without further ado, let's bring Patrick onto the show. Patrick, thank you for being here.
Hello, Tom. Thanks again to invite me again. Like you said, it looked like Raven liked your channel. She enjoyed it, and she enjoyed your own energy.
Thank you, and I appreciate her energy as well. She really brings a fresh perspective on things, and it's very much, things that she says are very much in alignment with Bashar and some of the background of Seth and Abraham as well. So it's a perfect match. And so I understand that you just want to drop right into the channeling state, right? So let's get right into it.
All right. And she want to talk about nature, and she's a very good guide for me lately to go deeper in that state. We can talk about it later on. Let's bring her. She's very exciting to come. All right, friends. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, Raven. Welcome back.
I'm so happy to come back. I'm so very, 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 very happy to share I would like to share with you today. This is, again, not for everybody, but for most of the people. Everybody can do it, but it's not everybody will do it. You know what I mean?
Yes, of course. We definitely understand these are all permission slips, and we all just gravitate to the ones that work for us.
That's very good, yes. But in my time, because my kind of different mixture that I am, I'm not alone like that. We are basically designed to tune with nature is very deeply, very deep with all the knowledge, ancient knowledge from Earth, with native. We have all those things in the DNA. That's what allow us to connect deeply. And I am very happy to come back and help you guys at the level you are, and whatever step you want to take in that direction. The channel is connecting with nature for a long time. I'm just stepping in and give some idea that you can have fun and explore those different ideas and see for itself if it works. Because like you said, everything is a permission. If you move in that direction, you will see if it works for you.
Great. And I've certainly have myself been discovering how being out in nature can reactivate, as you said, our genetic, sequencing and genetic codes, patterns, unlock certain aspects of our true nature because we are nature. And when we're in nature, we reflect with nature and we come into that true natural frequency. So I'm super curious, as I'm sure the viewers are curious, what you have up your sleeve this time.
All right, you have something you're not aware of it yet, but in nature, very deep in nature, within you, you will get close to it. It's not an accident, and I'm here to talking to you. No, we are here to help, and this time we're kind of are able to put our hands on your shoulder if you need a little assistance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. It's like this sense of coming alongside and supporting us in our vibration through your vibration so we can, it's like falling into a lockstep resonance, and that helps to give us like a beacon or a guiding light. That's my sense of it, at least.
It is. And from my time, it's kind of a screenshot video that I can see your timeline and see who is going in that direction. Because in a sense, we are your future. And we learn lots from back then on Earth where you start to doing this. Today, it's very simple. And please allow yourself to step in that direction if you will to. And feel really the connection. Because I tell you, you will put your feet in a different story of nature and earth. And we use that technique, and more you apply it, it will become just natural. You won't have to do too much to get in that level. But many years, any teacher said, sit down in nature, be quiet, do meditation, follow your heart, and all this is true. It's the first phase. It is the best phase you can use. But I will come with something else. Then I guide the channel for the last 2 weeks. He can tell you more about it later. It's when you start walking in nature. Doesn't matter, it's in the day or it's in the night. If you want to go at midnight, far away in nature, if you feel safe, you will trigger many connection because your sense become very high. And that's very important and it's very exciting there. First, what I'm going to suggest to you, when you go in nature, you don't sit down, you don't meditate. What you're going to do, my friend, you will know in Qigong, you probably do that. I want you to do, you walk, you relax, and you stop walking for a few seconds. What I want to tell you is that the intelligent field that you live in, it's part of you. It is part of the greater self. But you are living within the field. That field knows everything about you. Start to use that field as the best friend you can have. Don't hide anything to that field because that field knows you 100%. Start to be okay to let it go what you're hiding with that friend. And it will respond to in different way. Because you know more and more you go into physical contact with different species, you must drop those things because they will know exactly who you are. Drop it. Be okay with it. Start with nature as a friend. Now what you can do, because that friend is very intelligent. Everything in it. It's not only nature, it's everything. But first, nature is a very good step to start from that. By you walking in nature, you know everything is alive, everything is intelligent. You stop for a few seconds. And when you do, you compress your hands. You create a compression within your entire body with the breathing in. And you hold it, hold it, hold it. Now you let it go. You expand that energy to the field by breathing out slowly. You will create an effect. Nature, the trees, the leaf will start to vibrating because the repulsion of what you just did, contraction, expansion, is very important. And when nature starts to vibrating, you will see through your own eyes, open eyes. It is time for you to start to be in action with nature, to live the way you want to connect with it. Don't sit around, be in action. See your action. See whatever you contract, you expand. The field will respond to you. It will start to shake a little bit, and more it will shake a little bit more. This is where the mystery of any story on the back of that movement, because on the back of that movement, it's a different earth, a different story with nature. This is where I bring the channel. Many people talk about the deer. When you see a deer, a real deer, or inside your imagination, start to connect your heart with his heartbeat. When I was guiding the channel about that, his heartbeat started to match the beat of the deer. And suddenly, something shifts in nature. But just before of that, I asked him to contract a little bit more. When you contract and you let it go, I think you can explain a little bit more with Qigong, those techniques. You expand, you create a bubble effect. You start to see nature as the eyes of the deer. He started to experience everything around him as the deer. He was deep, deep, deep. When he came back of it, he was like, Raven, this is awesome. This is so fantastic. This is why I'm here to tell you. Start to do action. It's beautiful to sit down, do meditation. It's okay, it's perfect. But you can step forward. You can start moving and act the way you will see it. By doing this, just doing this, understand that you live in a field of intelligence. This is your best friend you can have. Because in a sense, it's part of you. It will respond, it will play with you. If you want to jump a little bit higher, contract, expand, you will see the movement reflecting to you that new reality. It's just amazing. It's just fascinating. Start with that slowly. Start with that slowly. We will be able to pick up on you and give you a little hand if you need so. I will come back next month and see how do you feel about that direction. How do you like it? What is the perception and nature change for you when you do that? That's what I want to share with you. Thank you. I hope you're going to enjoy that little action. It may be something different, maybe something you already do.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. And yes, there is a huge similarity there to Qigong. And if you just think about it, Qigong, all it really translates into is energy skill, being skilled with our life force energy, right? And so anything that you do that relates to working with and becoming aware of the energy field, that is Qigong, right? You can take it out of the cultural context and just think of it as becoming wise with one's energy. And there's many techniques like that. You're right, that expansion and contraction, whether it's with the breath or reverse breathing, or there's a lot of techniques out there for collapsing and expanding that electromagnetic bubble that we find ourselves in and finding resonance. But I love what you brought in here is just doing that out in nature and feeling nature's response, right? That's like the key that you're bringing here that I see. So yeah, I'm looking forward to giving that a go and seeing what happens.
Yes, and listen to the trees. They have many things to say to you. They will work with you. They will see if you have something to hide. Don't hide anything to nature because they know who you are.
Yes, we definitely are layered beings in our consciousness, and we hide things from ourselves, right? And nature being ourselves is, it's helping us to come out of that, all those multi-layers of closets and straitjackets, right? So yeah, thank you for that. And in Qigong, there's one Qigong I teach, which is exchanging energy with the trees, and that can be beautiful because the first thing you come in is you acknowledge the beingness of the tree, and you start realizing, gosh, there's a being in there, right? And it's like all of a sudden the being is looking at you, and it's like, what? Oh, you're finally tuning in. Oh my God, these humans are. It's like humans don't do that. Like, this is cool, right? And they'll interact with you. So yeah, thank you for bringing that in as well.
This is very important for the next future that you're going to, telepathy with nature, telepathy with animal, and to be okay and tune in a beautiful way with it. Because most of the species will come to Earth, they're extremely telepathy.
Yes, and I've noticed that as I raise my frequency, I just have these, quote unquote, chance encounters with animals, even here in the backyard, here in the middle of the city, Silicon Valley, raccoons and, hummingbirds all the time, and opossums and just different life forms. I'm just constantly running into them, and it's just interesting. Like, there's so much going on in nature if we just pause and listen and open to that.
Yes, because animals perceive nature as a different way. Many times we talk about the reptilian brain that kick in when you're in fear, but animals have a different pattern of it, and you can tune and perceive and understand that when you tune with them.
Great. So is there anything you want to add, or is there time for questions? Because there is one
I'm going to say
question.
something to you because something came up last night and is something I want to exchange with you. This is for personal, but maybe for future interaction with yourself. Maybe we can have time for question after that.
Great.
I'm going to ask you to allow yourself to be open with that. They have something from Sirius that it's coming in your center. Slowly is going in your field. More and more every day is going in your field until you get the center between you and your higher mind. It looked like a nature in the sea, like octopus. But you can call it octave, 1 octave higher. That species have very deep connection with yourself that you don't know from the Sirius star. It will allow you to tap in the record of Sirius and Earth as the Akash record. You know what we mean?
Yes, yes, yes.
When that connection will be center, you will have access to help people to understand their relationship with Sirius or the sea or Earth. That's something that's coming to you. And this is the surprise we want to tell you.
Yeah, thank you. You've mentioned the octopus before. I don't know if it was live on an episode, but yeah, it's a continuation of that. And like I've been telling Patrick, when I go out in the, late at night, like 11 o'clock, midnight, to just be in the quiet of the nighttime outside and look at the stars and be in my little nature spot here, I often see Sirius in the sky, and I'll meditate with Sirius and exchange energy, and I've been really drawn to that. And it's just like I do my nightly connection with Sirius, right? When the skies allow, when there's no overcast. And it's been amazing, some of the nighttime dreams and remembering parallel lives through the dream states, and just it's been an enjoyable ride. So thank you for confirming that and expanding on that.
Yes, you can use that contraction, expansion, and think about that being, that it's coming more and more in your field. Because something happened in your field, yet you're raising your frequency, and more you're raising it, more she can come with you. You understand that?
Yes, absolutely. It's like raising myself to that frequency level at which that being exists on, and making contact.
Yes, they will act as a second brain for you.
I like that. That's awesome. It's like I feel it, and it's hard to put it into words at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, put into action, and you can help people to find for themselves what they're looking for. Do you have any question, my friend?
Yeah, so we just had one question from the audience in the comments, right? So if anybody has questions for Raven, just drop them in the comments of this video. But in the last one, there was a question about the Yahyel homeworld. Can you speak more of your home planet, other than Earth, because I know you feel at home on Earth, but about the Yahyel homeworld. And I understand if, it's not time yet or whatever, but yeah, anything you can say about your, the Yahyel homeworld?
What I can say about that, from my point of view, what I can see and share, it's like they don't live on the planet. They live in a major, major craft, a mother craft. It's huge. You can see it's a moving planet, but they don't have their own planet as you do, as most people do. They live on a ship. But in a certain timeline, as your future, if we'll call it, Earth is their home.
Very interesting.
Because they have a frequency, different channel talk about that you're moving in that direction from the people who will have contact with children, hybrid. It's kind of Earth from the Yahyel. It's Earth in the future. But right now they are in a spaceship. A huge one, not a small one. It look like nature inside. Everything is inside that ship. Every kind you can accept. And every time you can imagine, it's there.
That's awesome. It reminds me of that movie Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. They, as well as a movie can demonstrate that, it's like all the environments were there within that spaceship or space station or whatever you want to call it.
Yes, that's what I can share.
That's definitely a new piece of information, and it definitely makes sense. So thank you for that.
All right. I will thank you again for that connection today. And I hope you're going to enjoy that what we share. And let's see what you're going to get out of it. All right?
Yes, I look forward to our next meeting. So take care, and thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Tom.
Welcome back, Patrick.
When you do channel, because you do channel, you start to tap in many different information as you give some information. It's just like, something I might be able to share later, but it's just like me personally, I'm going somewhere, and you leave the place for the communication to take place.
Yeah, I can relate to that, and there's different levels of strength to that. Sometimes it's a very mild trance or daydream, and sometimes it's quite intense with visuals and sacred geometrical patterns and whatnot. So, yeah, is there anything that you want to share about that now, or is it still in process?
It's still in process, but I have lots to do with something with Sirius, with your connection. And I was kind of, I have lots of download about it, and kind of a story is going beyond that with you and Sirius. And
Yeah, no, I definitely I've connected to different imagery of things like that, whether it's jellyfish or those kind of aquatic animals, of course, dolphins, right? So yeah, that's been coming in stronger and stronger, this frequency of Sirius. So it's an exciting remembrance.
wow, well, thank you again for that communication. What I can share on my side is like when ravens start to come and ask me to go in nature without being in meditation. I said, well, okay, let's see what I'm gonna do, and it's all parts of a natural thing we're doing many times. You go hike, you climb a mountain. In fact, you contract and you stop, you expand without knowing it. You see, and many things happen in that field. Like the only thing she said, start doing it by knowing you're doing it, and when you do that, for me, it was like I am in the midnight, around midnight or 1 a.m. in the wood, like far away in the wood, alone. All those little noise, my sense very sensitive, and I stretch out, and I'm doing the same. But you can see actually the field responds to you. It have a bubbling motion to it, and when you start to see it, this is where the fun start because they have another story in the back, and they kind of open the door. You open the door to that. You see, it's just about that shift of energy. It's not so much. It's just a little bit, and you can access to it. And like this morning, she said, "Go deep. Just don't stop doing it, and just by action." Many people said you need to take action if you want to see a result of something. And I guess we get to a point that we have to do it. It's okay. I love to do meditation. I'm not saying don't do meditation anymore. No, no, no. But you can change your permission. You can change the way you act with nature, and it will reflecting something different. This morning I was outside with a big, big stone, like a flat stone, maybe 3 feet high, and I started to do that. I was contracting and sending to it, and I receive it, and I was send it to it, and I did like maybe 4 or 5 times. And that flat side of the stone, they have different kind of symbols start to appear,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and they was moving. In fact, you see that reflection. It really talked to us, really, really, really.
Yeah, that experience I've had many times where you're seeing, either on small stones or even on large rocks, outcroppings and whatnot. You start seeing shapes and patterns in the stones, and it's like, it's not like I'm taking medicines or something, but it's like you start falling into an altered state, and you just start seeing like faces and shapes and patterns, and it's information, and it's like you start realizing you can go into each of those symbols, and it's like you're in a dream, and you can start interpreting it like a dream symbol, and like you wonder, what does this symbol represent, right? It's no, so it's like it's telling you a story, right? It kind of reminds me how the Native Americans, think of the stones as record keepers, right? It's a way to tap
Yeah.
into that planetary energy, and yeah.
Yes, yes, and when you really go deep in the wood, because in that time those native people didn't have a car business. Earth was quiet. Like just imagine after days and days and days of very quiet space that they draw that what they saw. You see,
Mm-hmm.
and this is how nature can connect with you. It's fascinating the story you can have, and you can see those trees, and on the trees you can see some different houses because it's a different reality. Like it's opening a door. And it's not an accident those G-Kong people understand to play with that field. That field open the door.
Yeah, there's a huge parallel here for me because, there's a whole component of the Qigong I teach, which is exchanging energy with, especially with trees, but, in general with nature, some of the foundationals of the practice is connecting to earth, connecting to heaven, and connecting to yourself as, suspended in heaven and earth. So it's all there. It's all in these practices. But sometimes, we need to unlock it or look at it through a different lens so we can just see the beauty of it and not just like be, oh, I've seen this a million times, no, it's like there's so much richness there. So yeah, so I like this different angle of coming into the practices.
Yeah, and sometimes Raven said, I will give you more just sometimes because you need to trick yourself just to make a little trick with different way. It's just enough to get you tuned because you get used to do the same thing and you think doesn't do anything at some level.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's to trick yourself by doing something to a different direction.
I know exactly what you mean. And this is why I like to teach Qigong, is because when you're teaching in front of students, everything starts to get dynamic. They have different questions. They bring the new energy into it. And it's always different. It's never the same material twice. And,
Exactly.
but when I'm home, practicing at home, it's like, oh, I'm going to do this meditation today. And then I'm going to do it the next day and the next day. And you start falling into this rhythm. And it's like, you got to change it up. You got to shake it up or look at it from a different angle.
Yeah. No, this is fascinating. And maybe next few weeks, we can come back and see if people have experience with it and see what they have to say.
Absolutely.
Or any comment will be very interesting.
Exactly. For the viewers out there, drop those comments in there. Tell us your experiences and tell us what you'd love to see Raven expand upon as well. But definitely reflect to us, how are you utilizing the knowledge, and this information that we're discussing on these episodes, drop into the conversation, let's converse as a community and see what we get that way.
Yes. And probably we can have an exchange at distance, because distance, again, it's an illusion, but we can create that pattern flow exchange.
Absolutely.
Because people will know more you go deep in nature. Sometimes you just connect with the trees and the trees can show you every single person just passed close to the tree in the same day. You can see the entire story of it, you see?
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, I read a lot of the Seth material, and he really went into this, how a tree perceives us, and trees will start to acknowledge that they can recognize and differentiate the different vibrations, and they get to know you personally, right? And this is like straight out of the Seth material, right? Which, most people kind of gloss this over and go into the heady stuff, but the whole idea, and I've experienced this with trees when I develop a relationship with a tree, it's like they'll remember you. They don't see you the way we see each other, right? They see us as vibrational patterns and they have different perceptive mechanisms, but there's a recognition of it, like this being in here, the being in me recognizes the being in you, and it's back and forth. So it's pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. I'm writing a book right now with Raven, and all that stuff will be in the book, with different story, because I'm not done with that. But like she said, sometimes it's contract and expand. It's make you going in different direction, that it will always be a mystery, you see?
That's exciting that you're writing a book. That's good to hear, and I'm glad Raven's just been much more active with us, whereas last time it seemed like there was this big long pause, but now we're just getting this nice infusion, so it's really lovely energy.
It is kind, and for me, more I'm going in nature, more I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and with very fun way, more she's easy to connect for me, you see? If I don't do that as my natural, because it's something I love, it's kind of hard for me to get in touch with her, you see?
Yeah, we come right back to this idea of action. It's like action, even just a simple act of me going out at night and looking at Sirius, it's like taking that action and making the connection, right? Whatever small step even, right? There's that old saying, when you make one small step, the infinite, God, whatever you want to call it, takes 100 steps towards you, right? But you got to take that action. Right, you got to ground it into this world through the physical body. Take an action to receive that that universe stepping towards us. Right.
It is so true. Maybe not everybody will be tapping in the hybrid, whatever, but they will tap in nature, and this is the most important thing. From the hybrid point of view, that's why they share this. Learn to tap with your own world and have fun and discover those things, because it's on and on and on and on. You cannot believe it will never stop,
Yes, it's like what's come through my channeling is this whole idea of how many layers and levels of earth there are, and we only explore one level of earth, this very specific physical frequency, and we think we've explored every nook and cranny of the planet, and yet just slightly, you shift your frequency slightly and you unlock a whole series of mysteries of Earth portals and interactions that you just weren't aware of before, and which our culture is quite blind to, honestly. This is something the natives were very, very attuned into, and we've lost that connection, and there's layers of those connections. So it's like we've only explored one thin sliver, and there's all these layers that are just waiting to be explored by us. So it is an exciting adventure.
Yeah, big time. And to be honest, and to see any little fear that you will have, because if you go at night, you might get scared, with noise and stuff like that. Now your senses are wide open, but this is a good time to really be honest and to move the speed, whatever. You don't have to rush that. It's not about rushing. It's about realize that you have an impact all the time, that you can have those communications. They're waiting for us.
And you can explore that fear too, like even just the basic fear of the dark, which has it has a resonance with fear of the unknown, right? And so just, do we trust the way our life unfolds when we're in darkness? All of that, right? It's like it's so rich.
It is rich, and because in their time frame, because the design of this eyes with the whatever step she's going, when I go in the middle of the night, she said, imagine that you see through the dark. You see that you can see clearly. And sometimes and pay attention, you probably know that when you do G-Con, you're just relaxing and stuff like that. Kind of bright lights start to appear on the side of you. It doesn't matter if they're left or right, but that light is us, you see?
I've
Like
had
that can't light up anything.
I've had that experience so many times where I'm like in deep meditation, and then it's like, who turned the lights on? It's like nobody
So
turned the
bright,
lights
you
on. It's
see?
internal light came on, It's like, oh, where's that light coming from? It's coming from me, So yeah, it's happened so many times that way where it's like, it's just, yeah. And I've also noticed my night vision is also it's quite good, right? Where you just start, like you said, you start opening up, and it's almost like the edge of your physical vision, there's other levels of vision, or you have different levels or vibrations of eyes. Or this came in another channeling session as well. How we have different, just like there's different layers of earth, there's different layers of eyes, right? It's like we have our physical eyes and we have our etheric eyes and all these layers and gradations, and you can start expanding into that and start receiving information through these other sets of eyes at other vibrational levels. So you can tune to these frequencies and see more. So yeah, that's exciting too.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why for me, it's appearing on that side all the time, the right side. Why? I don't know. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter, but you must realize it's your own light, you see? And, that was an experience with Raven when I connect with her in Upheaval Dome. I stayed there and I lost time. When I opened my eyes, it was dark. I said, I don't know where my car is because I'm not familiar with that trail. And I said, I don't have a flashlight. I just moved there when I get there. And she said, forget about those things. Just go to your car. And finally, I saw the trail like it was in the day. I didn't need anything. And I got to a car. I said, man, I was seeing everywhere.
Yeah, it reminds me one time when I was out in the woods on solstice, longest night of the year on a new moon, which is, that's powerful already. But my flashlight went out and I was in the woods in the dark. And it was like no moon, longest night of the year. It's just like, but you know what? Somehow we have these internal faculties that we don't even know we have. And like all of a sudden our technology doesn't work and no flashlight. And it's like I found my way, it was amazing. I could feel the trail. And, I didn't fall off into the ditch or anything. There's this, we have senses we don't even know we have. And sometimes we put ourselves in tricky situations and it's like we have to turn it on. So we do, right? So yeah, there's that side.
It is. This is all the exciting thing, that when you go and you just go and you do what you do, everything is there. Everything is there. Well, Tom, thank you so much again.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Patrick. And thank you, Raven, for being on the episode and coming back so many times. Like I said, you're the returning champion, right? This is episode 7 with you, even though it's 17 in the series. And so, yeah, thank you so much. And it is a journey. And for our viewers out there, definitely join the conversation. Help us out through sharing the video, liking, subscribing to the channel. All of that helps the algorithm. It helps more people to get the message. And may this episode inspire you into more of your true natural self. May this help you to raise your frequency into those levels where you start seeing more and more of yourself unfolding within yourself, reflected in nature. So let that be an inspiration, and we will wish you and send you off with whatever blessings are ours to give. Have a beautiful, wonderful, and a fond, transformative good day.